I saw something in the woods last night. Now I'm afraid they'll find me. I don't think I've ever been this scared in my life. My hands are still shaking as I type this. I don't know if I'm being paranoid, but I feel like I need to get this out, just in case something happens. I went camping last night, alone. I've done it before, and it's never been a big deal. I like the solitude, the quiet. I picked a remote site deep in the woods, miles away from the nearest town. No cell service, no distractions. Just me, my tent, and the sounds of nature. It was perfect, until it wasn't. It was around midnight when I heard the voices. Low, rhythmic chanting, drifting through the trees. At first, I thought I was imagining it. The wind playing tricks on me. But then I heard something else. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Multiple people. I killed my lantern and crouched by the tent, my heart pounding. The voices were getting closer. I shouldn't have gone to look. I should have just stayed hidden. But I was stupid. I thought maybe it was another group of campers messing around. So I crept through the trees, keeping low, moving toward the sound. That's when I saw them. A circle of people in dark robes standing around a massive, jagged stone. Their faces were hidden behind wooden masks, carved into grotesque, inhuman shapes. The fire at their center cast long, flickering shadows, making them look even more distorted, like something out of a nightmare. And then I saw the thing on the stone. I don't know if it was an animal or something else, but it was alive, twitching, making these horrible, wet, gasping sounds. The chanting grew louder. One of them raised a knife. I must have made a noise, a twig snapping under my boot, a sharp breath, something. Because suddenly, they stopped. Every single one of them turned their heads toward me at the exact same time. For a moment, there was nothing. Just silence. Fire crackling, my own pulse hammering in my ears. Then, one of them pointed at me, and they ran. I didn't think. I just bolted. Branches tore at my skin as I sprinted through the woods, my lungs burning, my legs screaming. I didn't dare look back. I could hear them behind me, their footsteps slamming against the forest floor, impossibly fast, impossibly close. I don't know how I made it back to the parking lot. It was a blur of panic and pain and pure survival instinct. But as soon as I saw my car, I launched myself inside and locked the doors. The woods were silent. No movement, no figures, no glowing eyes peering at me from the trees. But I swear, just as I peeled out of there, I saw something in my rearview mirror. A lone masked figure, standing at the edge of the tree line, perfectly still, watching me go. It wasn't until I was miles away that I realized. I left everything behind. My tent, my bag, my ID, and worse, a picture of me and my family tucked inside my gear. They know what I look like. They might know who I am. And I don't know if they'll come looking for me.
I think I'm being stalked, and it's getting worse. I don't know how much time I have to write this. I don't even know if posting this is a mistake, but I need someone to tell me what to do. I think I'm in danger. It started with a dating app. A stupid, harmless dating app. About a month ago, I matched with a guy, let's call him Ethan. He was normal enough, decent pictures, boring small talk, but there was something about him that felt off. He was too eager, responding to my messages within seconds, saying things like, "I feel like I already know you," and "I think we'd be amazing together." We had barely talked. It was weird. So I stopped replying. Then, when he messaged me 3 more times in an hour, I just unmatched him. I figured that would be it. A few days later, I got a DM on Instagram. "Hey, it's Ethan. Not sure if you meant to unmatch me, but I really think we had something. Let's talk?" I never gave him my Instagram. I don't use my real name on dating apps. My profile is private. I didn't reply. I blocked him. I told myself it was just a fluke. Maybe he found me through mutual followers. Maybe I'd posted something that gave it away. I wanted to believe that. Then things started happening, and at first it was small. I'd feel like I was being watched walking home at night. I'd hear the faint echo of footsteps behind me, only for them to stop when I turned around. I kept telling myself I was being paranoid. Then, a few days ago, I found flowers outside my door. No note, just a cheap bouquet wrapped in plastic. I asked my neighbors, the building manager. No one saw anything. I checked the security cameras. The footage from that hour? Corrupted. And then last night, I woke up to the sound of my phone vibrating, a call. No caller ID. I stared at the screen, my stomach twisting. The call stopped. Then, a minute later, it rang again, and again, and again. I turned my phone off and sat there in the dark, my pulse hammering in my ears. That's when I noticed something, a shape outside my window. My bedroom is on the 3rd floor. I barely breathed as I inched toward the glass. My blinds were half open, the streetlights casting a dull glow over the parking lot below. There was someone standing there, a man, still, facing my window. He didn't move, he didn't fidget or shift like a normal person. He just stood there, his head tilted slightly upward, watching me. I backed away slowly, afraid to even blink. I told myself I was imagining it, that my eyes were playing tricks on me, and then my phone vibrated again. The screen lit up in the darkness. Another no caller ID. And as soon as it started ringing, the figure below tilted his head further, like he knew, like he could see my reaction. I shut the blinds and sat in my closet until morning. I should have left, I should have packed a bag and gone to a friend's house, but I felt like if I acted scared, it would make it worse, like I was playing into some sick game. But this morning, when I finally worked up the courage to leave for work, I found something outside my door. Not flowers this time, a Polaroid picture of me taken from outside my window. TLDR, I unmatched a guy on a dating app. Now I think he's watching me, and I don't know what to do.
Subscribe to
The Human Condition.
There's something in my air vents, and I don't think it's an animal. I need to get this out somewhere before I convince myself I'm just going crazy. I'm not sure how to explain this without sounding paranoid, but I think someone or something has been living inside my apartment's air vents. I moved into this place about a year ago. It's a pretty standard one-bedroom in an old mid-rise building. The kind of place with paper-thin walls and weird quirks, like how my kitchen light flickers for no reason, or how the floorboards creak even when I'm not moving. But it was cheap and I didn't mind a little character. Then the noises started. It was subtle at first, just the occasional scratching sound, usually at night. I figured it was mice or maybe a squirrel that had gotten stuck somewhere in the ducts. It didn't happen often enough for me to really care. But over the last month it's gotten worse. I started hearing movement, something shifting inside the vents. Not the tiny, erratic scurrying of rodents, but slow, deliberate shuffling, like someone crawling. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Maybe I was just hearing the building settling or noise from another apartment. But then I started noticing other things. Weird smells, like sweat, damp fabric, something almost metallic. A few times I'd come home from work and swear the apartment felt off. Like the air was just slightly too warm, too stale, like someone had been there just before me. But nothing was missing, nothing was moved. So I let it go. Then, last week, I woke up to something that I cannot explain. I was lying in bed, half asleep when I heard it. The unmistakable sound of breathing, slow, shallow, coming from the vent above my bed. I froze, my entire body locked up in that horrible half-dream paralysis. I wanted to believe it was my own breath echoing back at me, but I knew it wasn't. It was too distinct, too controlled. And then, just as I was convincing myself it was my imagination, it shifted. A soft, metallic creak like weight being adjusted. I bolted upright, fumbling for the lamp, but as soon as the light flooded the room, it was gone. Silence. Nothing but my own heartbeat pounding in my ears. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night. The next morning I unscrewed the vent cover in my living room, trying to see if an animal had gotten in. I expected dust, maybe some chewed up insulation. Instead I found something worse. Handprints. Faint, but definitely there. Smudges in the dust, like someone had pressed their fingers against the inside of the vent. They were longer than normal fingerprints, thinner, and they trailed deeper inside. I called my building manager immediately, told them I thought someone had been in the vents. He came by, did a quick look around, and shrugged it off. Probably just maintenance work from before you moved in, he said. You'd be surprised how much dust settles in there. But here's the thing. The dust wasn't settled. The prints were fresh. And last night I got my final piece of proof that something is very, very wrong. I set up my phone to record overnight, aimed at the vent above my bed. I don't know what I was expecting. Maybe some weird noises. Maybe nothing. But when I checked the footage this morning, my stomach dropped. At 3:17 a.m., the vent cover moves. Just slightly, just enough to shift. Then fingers appear. Thin, pale fingers stretching out from the darkness inside. They move slowly, feeling along the edges of the vent, pressing against the metal slats as if testing them. I felt sick watching it, knowing that just a few feet below, I had been sleeping, completely unaware. And then, suddenly, the fingers freeze. For a long moment, there's nothing. No movement, no sound. And then, so faint I almost didn't hear it, something mutters from inside the vent.
Being recorded.
The voice is dry and brittle, like old paper crumbling. But it's aware. The fingers retreat instantly, disappearing back into the darkness. Then, with eerie precision, the vent cover is gently pushed back into place. Like whoever was inside didn't want to leave a trace. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should call the police or if they'll just think I'm insane. I'm posting this now from my car because I can't go back inside. Someone, please, tell me what to do.
Subscribe to
The Human Condition.